Hello, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to 2025. As always, my name is Zach Collins, and this is Financial Education. Today, I'm going to be going through my top 5 tips to get you on the right track to financial stability. Diving straight in, my first tip to get you on the right track financially this year is to set a budget. I've already made another video specifically on budgeting, so I'm not going to waste your time repeating too much. If you do want to know more, make sure you check that one out. A budget should be the core of your financial journey. I personally don't have a strict budget, but I track all my income and expenses with a spreadsheet, and I break it down into various categories so I know what I'm buying and how much I'm actually spending. Before I had my spreadsheet, I had no idea how much I was spending or what it was on. I just knew I received a certain amount of money from my day job, and then I spent most of it, and each month I had a little bit left over. Other than that, I was pretty clueless. And this is why it's important to set a budget and to track your spending. If you don't know where you're spending your money, you don't know where you need to mentally focus to stop that bleed. There's nothing wrong with buying lunch in the office every so often, or your daily coffee. The issue becomes when you buy breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, and dinner every single day. And you're buying clothes every weekend as examples. Just like with life and dieting, your spending also needs to be in moderation. If you spend too much, you could end up in bad debt that is really hard to pay off. This brings me to my second tip, which is to pay off all your bad debt as soon as you can. Just like with budgeting, I've also made a video on different methods that people use to pay down debt. And if you are struggling with credit cards and car loans and personal loans, make sure you check it out as it might be of help. There are two types of debt, good debt and bad debt. Good debt is used as leverage to purchase assets, while bad debt is debt that's used for personal use or consumer goods. There's nothing wrong with having good debt, as it can greatly improve your wealth and quality of life when you eventually draw down on your assets. The issue is with getting debt to travel or something you replace frequently, as it's eroding your wealth and is adding no value. We all know spending can be hard to get under control, which is why I suggested a budget as a good start so that you can make sure that you don't get into debt in the first place. Debt is something that you get into because you just lack motivation. Setting a goal, which is my third tip, could help you get out of the debt trap. Everyone has goals. They could be big or small. Jeff Bezos had a goal of going to space, and he achieved that. Elon Musk had the goal of flushing Twitter down the toilet. Or was that down the sink? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that whether you want to be debt-free, travel, take time off work for family or kids, or you want to retire fully, everyone has a goal that they want to achieve, and generally the only thing stopping them is money. So my third tip is to set goals. Have a short-term goal. This could be to pay off your credit card, or save $1,000, or to buy a car. It could be anything. Once you've got the short-term goal, it's now time for the medium term. And this is your 3 to 5 year goal. And this could be something like buying a house, or to save enough money to take 6 months off work and travel. Finally, we have long-term goals, and this could be something like paying off your house or having enough money to retire comfortably, be that early or at a normal age. Or maybe you want to have enough money so that you can start a business with enough of a safety net that failing to make any money is an option. The thing is, in business and when you're an employee, you never know when you might not get that next payday. This is why having a safety net or an emergency fund is my next tip. So what is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a pot of money that you keep liquid and accessible in the event of an emergency. I wouldn't recommend keeping it as stocks, as they can take a few days to sell and get your money out. And if you need it tomorrow, you essentially can't fund that emergency. Most people would recommend keeping somewhere between 3 and 6 months of either your expenses or your salary in cash in the event that something unexpected happens, something like a car accident, and you need to pay the excess on your insurance immediately in order to get a new one. Or you lose your job and it takes you time to get employed again. Or maybe you've had a break-in and you need to replace all your furniture. Basically, an emergency fund is meant to get you through the bad times that rarely happen, but will stop you from going into debt over those events. When it comes to the unexpected events, my final tip is to make sure you're properly insured. This could be for home and contents insurances or car insurance. Specifically, I highly recommend having proper personal insurances. By that, I mean life, TPD, trauma, and IP. I've already done a video on that one, so make sure you check that one out. But the key message is you never know when life will throw you a curveball, and making sure you're sufficiently prepared will help you, your family, and all your loved ones in that time of need. Hopefully you found my top 5 tips on how you can get on the right track to financial stability in 2025 helpful. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop a comment below and I will answer if I can. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.